And welcome back to Mart Fitzgeral Square, the heart of the Joburg CBD. This is where the Democratic Alliance, of course, is anticipating to lay out, shall we call it, the blue carpet for residents in and around the country. The Democratic Alliance preparing to launch their much-anticipated manifesto, especially when you consider how far the organization has come from the days of the Democratic Party winning just about 7 seats in the National Assembly in 1994 to what is now the second largest political party in the country. In 2021, the circumstances were so different. For one, this particular event had to be held virtually because of the COVID-19 pandemic that came with its own complications. And my goodness, what a different image it is today. It's a whole production here in the Joburg inner city, with throngs of supporters already having had arrived, and of course the DA planning to officially start their program at 9 o'clock. Let's get straight into speaking to some of those who are the brains behind what is the Democratic Alliance and at least its representation in the National Assembly. One of them is Karabo Kakao, the spokesperson of the party, quite a firebrand politician in her own right, and is with us now. It's great to speak to you. Thanks very much indeed for making time. You must be pleased with what's going on around you. I mean, from the moment we arrived, the seats were already set, the music is already blaring, but I have to ask you, the party has a stronghold elsewhere in the country. Why decide to launch the manifesto here in Johannesburg?
Good morning, Ayanda. Thank you so much for having me, and hello to the people of South Africa. Look, we chose Johannesburg deliberately. We're declaring to the residents of Johannesburg that we are going to be their government, that we are very prepared to govern this city and to make sure that it works for its residents. And Johannesburg's story is a very serious one in the sense that it is a story of the aspiration of democratic South Africa. This city was once upon a time the pride and joy of democratic South Africa, the economic pulse of our country, where each and every person's dreams could come true. So our declaration of intent in governing the city of Johannesburg is our declaration of intent in governing the Republic of South Africa. So all metros and small towns are what exactly our focus is going to be, and that's why we chose the heart of Johannesburg. Because if Johannesburg works, if people are able to fairly compete for jobs and get opportunities to put food on the table for themselves and their families, then democracy works. When people open their taps and they have water, clean, drinkable, reliable water 24/7, then democracy works. Yeah. When you and I can drive our vehicles without the stress of the insurance claims of our tires because of potholes, then we're living our best lives. And that is why the conversation of Johannesburg particularly is that specific to the dream of South Africa.
Naturally, the skeptics are looking at the quality of life and the standard of living in Cape Town when they think about what would happen to Johannesburg if the DA were to take over. And let's face it, the cost of living there isn't the easiest. Property prices are skyrocketing. The party's officials have agreed to as much. What kind of assurance do you give Joburg residents that if the DA were to take over, they wouldn't be saddled with the same issues?
Yeah. The assurance we give the residents of Johannesburg is simple. You want a metro and a government that works. You want your refuse collected, you want water, you want streetlights, you want the budget of the municipality to serve you and nothing else, and that is exactly what you're going to have. That means the quality and standard of living within the city of Johannesburg will be far more improved, right? And so the conversation about market regulation is a bit separate actually from the conversation of government service delivery, in the sense that we can still have a conversation about how do we then ensure that housing is far more accessible for people in the inner city or in urban areas than in burbs that are leafy like your Sandton and whatnot. But at the heart of the realization of good quality living is the ability to live in Alexandra and not think you are living a lesser life than a person who lives in Sandton. That's as simple as that.
All right, Karabo, we're going to have to leave it there. Thanks very much indeed for speaking to us, the spokesperson of the Democratic Alliance and an MP in the National Assembly. The SABC news team is fanned out throughout Mart Fitzgeral Square, including our senior reporter, Samkelo Maseko, who is a stone throw away from where I'm standing and much closer to the stage. Samkelo, what are you seeing from your vantage point?
Indeed, Ayanda, the party has started here at the Mart Fitzgeral Square, where the Democratic Alliance will be unveiling its manifesto for the local government elections. The sun is rising and is starting to be a scorcher here in a very freezing Johannesburg morning. And I've got what they call the it girl in Johannesburg at this point in time, Helen Zille, a candidate mayor for Johannesburg. How's the campaign going? I can see you've got the groove on, dressed for the occasion.
Go-go DJ, that's what I'm going to be today. Now,
Gogo,
we've all got our groove on. We've all got a blue groove on today.
looking at Johannesburg, how has the campaign been? How are the people of Johannesburg receiving you? Predominantly your biggest township, Soweto.
The people of Joburg have been absolutely wonderful. I've had good interactions with people. People have shown up wherever we go. I love Joburg. I'm stuck on Joburg. You know that Lionel Richie song? That one.
When you look at Johannesburg, and particularly your campaign, the service delivery challenges in Johannesburg, you go to Region C, you go to Region D, you go to 5 depots of Pick It Up. They are closed due to service delivery strikes. What are some of the key priority areas for you as a candidate for Joburg mayorship on the issues of the basic services to the people?
The key issues are water and sanitation, electricity, roads, law and order, clean public open spaces.
When you look overall, the budget of Johannesburg, you look at the members and supporters of the Democratic Alliance who are here, going into this election, what are some of the key issues that you are saying are some of the bottlenecks in your campaign that you need to pick up in order to be able to get South Africans to come to your Helen Zille's campaign?
So far, our campaign has been going absolutely according to plan. I don't know whether it will continue. I'm deeply grateful. I've got a wonderful team, and so far so good. But in politics, anything can happen. I know that.
But looking at in saying anything can happen in politics, should there be a hung council? What are some of the discussions, some of the projections you are looking at and saying, okay, maybe we can work with this person, maybe we can't work with this person? What's the thinking?
Well, Samkelo, it depends on the result of the election. We've got to get to 136 seats. We would love to do it on our own, but if we can't, we will have to look at the least bad coalition option that presents itself.
When you look at your campaign, I've keenly been observing it. You are not in your traditional base of the DA. You've gone out of that particular base. What is the reasoning behind that?
Well, I love all the people of Joburg. This is a city for all, and it's got to work for all. And our job is to get Joburg working for all.
Some of the key priority areas that South Africans can look forward to, particularly, I see you've got a speech there as the candidate that you're going to be addressing these particular members. What are some of the key points within that speech?
You have to wait and see. I'm building up the suspense. Tell your readers to wait till we're on.
And the leader's speech, what can we look forward to?
Oh, that leader's speech is going to say how we're going to get all the municipalities in South Africa working for everyone.
What was your input in it?
In his speech. I don't make inputs in his speech. I make inputs in my speech.
Can we just have a glimpse and see what's in there?
Masenze ingxolo ngenxa yeJoburg.
Well, that is Helen Zille. They call her the it girl of Johannesburg. Can you just look at her outfit? They call her DJ Helen. She's a DJ Helen for today. Gogo Helen.
Gogo DJ.
Gogo DJ. It changes. Gogo Helen, DJ Gogo.
As long as the Gogo's there, I don't mind.
Well, that is Helen Zille. She's definitely got her groove on going into this election. South Africans will hear from Gordon Hill Lewis at about 11 o'clock. This particular paper that I'm going to try and steal from her just for a while, she's refusing, but...
I'm refusing.
Let me see. I have seen dry taps, dark streets, burst pipes, and businesses struggling to save jobs. Okay. There have been moments where I have wondered whether Joburg's
those
collapse.
Are boring bits. Let me give you the good bits.
What's the good bits?
Ukuba ulisela kufuneka ubaleke ngokukhawuleza.
Amasela, but Lamasela, you are working with them at national government.
Asisebenzisana amasela. Asiyifuni.
Amasela lapha government.
That's a coalition. But here, we want to win an overall majority for ourselves.
Thank you very much, Helen Zille. All the best for your campaign. Gogo, DJ Gogo, Helen Zille. That's what they call her. She's got a groove on. I'm just going to try and bring in our political editor, Mzwandile Mbeche. He is currently just greeting Cilliers Brink, who is from the city of Tshwane. I'm just going to steal Cilliers Brink and Mzwandile Mbeche and bring him on now. I'm supposed to take him at 9 o'clock, but there are burning issues. Mr. Brink, Tshwane, You've won in court over the issue of Metla, the city manager. You've also put in a motion of no conference against the speaker. What's happening in the capital, the citadel of power?
So what essentially happened is that a party who promised never to govern with the ANC has sold out the nation's capital to the ANC. They've set up a coalition that is internally divided, and they're spending most of their time fighting with each other over resources instead of governing the city. What we had in this instance was a clear attempt to get rid of Johan Metla, a very senior, experienced civil servant who refused to sign off on certain irregular tenders, and that was the political motive to get rid of him. They were so determined to do it that they rigged the council vote. And I think that that's a strong basis to get rid of the speaker. But ultimately, it's not the court of law or the council meetings that are most important. The most important date is the 4th of November, when the residents of the nation's capital will decide, are we going to have an ANC-led city or a DA-led city? That is the clear choice.
When you look at the city, the capital city is a very important city. That's where the administration of government, the citadel of power is. That's where the union buildings, the presidency is at. How do you get the city of Tshwane working with all of the ructions that have happened in the successive coalition governments that have been in place, led by yourselves, the DA, and now led by Action SA and other political parties such as the EFF and the ANC?
So the choice about who's mayor is a very important choice. You have to have a competent person with experience and integrity. But if you have a council that is divided amongst many, many small parties, each with their own agenda, you can't make the difficult decision. So what the DA is asking the electorate of Tshwane, the people of Tshwane, give us a significant mandate, give us a big enough share of the vote so we can make the difficult decisions. It's not just the mayor, it's also the council. When it comes to hiring people, getting rid of incompetent people, passing budgets, raising long-term loans, that's where you need the power in council, and I believe we can do it. We've had a lot of experience of the chaos of coalitions, as you pointed out. We've had a lot of experience of making mistakes in government, but we also have a frame of reference of success. We know that there are towns and cities in this country where water, electricity, public lighting, waste collection has been turned around, and we must have enough power so we can implement those changes in government.
When you say you must have enough power, you've got Johan Metla, the city manager. Then you've got Gareth Mnisi, the CFO. But seemingly, the coalition that's in charge wants Johan Metla out, but is keeping the current CFO. What is the true breakdown in relations and the realignments of the officials in the metro?
Well, I think the ANC, EFF and Action SA all want to control the administration. They all have an agenda. We believe all of these parties are hard out of money, especially in the run-up to the election. And so you get this internal fight. Johan Metla is somebody who is not politically affiliated. He's not DA, he's not ANC, he's not any of these other parties. He's just a hard-working official. And that's why they want him out. There's no real case against him. They just want him suspended. That has now failed with a court action. Gareth Mnisi, on the other hand, the issue about him is, are the allegations against him serious or less serious? If they are serious, then dismissal must be one of the sanctions against him if he's found guilty. But now they've rushed through a decision that those allegations are less serious, and they've given him a final written warning. The DA couldn't get an urgent interdict because we can't interdict what has already happened. But the review court will still decide on Mnisi's fate. We believe the allegations are serious. We believe that if he's guilty, he must be fired.
Who do you go into coalition with after the 4th of November? Should there be hung councils across the country?
Well, our first message is to the people. We're asking for a big enough mandate. Nobody goes into election saying, vote for us, we'll stand in a coalition. We have experience of coalitions, some of it good, some of it bad, and we are willing to work with other parties, but we're not going into an election asking people, vote for a coalition. There's no such option on the table. Once we see the manifestos of these other parties, ours gets released today. Once we see those manifestos, we'll make an informed decision.
Thank you very much, Cilliers Brink, who is the mayoral candidate in the citadel of power. Just for 2 seconds, I'm going to bring in our political editor. We are not alone. We have out of town from Zwa. Just the essence of the DA manifesto. We're bringing you in. You are the political editor. You are steering the ship. What can we look forward to, particularly around the leader's speech?
I think what they are going to be doing, they are going to be speaking about service delivery, how they are going to do it, and also they are going to focus on things that relate to jobs. But when it comes to service delivery, they'll try and use their model. Remember, they've always said where they govern better. That is the message you are going to hear here. And then also the issue of jobs, because as much as service delivery is important, the issue of creating jobs, the question is how are they going to do that, and how are they going to convince South Africans to do that?
Thank you very much, Mzwandile Mbeja. That is our political editor. He's going to be steering the ship for the rest of this particular manifesto launch and other political parties. Today, the sun is on the Democratic Alliance as this scorching heat of Johannesburg rises above this Mart Fitzgeral Square. The man of the hour, that would be Gordon Hill-Lewis, the leader of the Democratic Alliance, just after 11 o'clock, will deliver the party's manifesto, looking at infrastructure within local government and municipalities, looking at service delivery, looking at local economic development within those particular areas, and looking at decentralizing broad-based black economic empowerment and localizing it to the various local municipalities, and in particular the economic metros within the country.